Well, I love Manitoba. I'm from Manitoba. I was born and raised here. I lived elsewhere and worked elsewhere and learned all kinds of great things elsewhere. And the one thing that I learned more than anything, and that is that Manitoba is the best place to live and work. So that's why I work in Manitoba, in one of the best industries one can work in. One word: the people. The people that we work with, the colleagues, the professional relationships that we develop over the years is what makes me want to work here. It's what makes me want to work here indefinitely, forever. It's great to make friends who come from other places to work with us, but to underline the best thing about being and working in Manitoba, it's the people that we get to work with here that make it fantastic. Makes you want to get up every day and go to work and hang out with your mates and hopefully tell great stories. It would probably be a series of events. The first time I think I ever set foot on a film set in Manitoba was when I worked with CBC, and we visited Guy Madden's set for, I think the film was called Twilight of the Ice Nymphs, and it was in this warehouse somewhere. I don't remember where it was in Winnipeg, but we entered this world where there was the outside world, and then you entered the inside world, an unbelievable place of wonder and color and amazing characters. And I remember walking into that as a 18-year-old, 19-year-old still in university and thinking, what an unbelievable world. And that was the first moment. And when I say a series of moments, the most memorable is that year after year, as I worked more in the industry and made more friends, I've actually, over the years, gotten a chance to work with some of the people that I had remembered seeing on that set, on that first visit to that film that was being produced all those years ago. And so overall, I think that would be what I would consider the most memorable event, would be that first one, followed by all of the other experiences that I've had to work with all the people who do unbelievable work here in Manitoba. There was one moment, this is back in the early days of my involvement in the industry too, when I worked as an extra. And I think it was for a film called Roswell, or at least I'm not sure if that was in the title of the film, but it was a film that was being shot here in Manitoba about Roswell and what happened there in New Mexico all those years ago with extraterrestrials and UFOs and all of that. And it was, I believe, sometime in the late fall, and it was cold. And you had all of these macho guys dressed in army fatigues in the back of an old retro-looking Jeep. So you have all these big, tough-looking guys. I wasn't really that tough. As you can see, I weigh 150, 60 pounds soaking wet. But what was kind of humorous about the whole thing, I remember, was how closely huddled all of these big, burly, strong guys, minus me, were looking like in the back of the Jeep, because it was so cold in typical Winnipeg and Manitoba fashion that we had to stay close, cuddled together. So I'm not sure whether anybody ever took any pictures of that, but it sure would make for a good chuckle all these years later to see us. And oddly enough, I've had two of those, because I also went and played soccer on the ice in Gimli, I recall, not too long after that, when they came and shot some scenes for K-19, The Widowmaker. And being a soccer player, I guess for some reason I got called out to do that. And that had to be one of the coldest soccer games in long Russian-looking galoshes that I've ever taken part in. So that would be kind of funny too. So there you go, a couple of funny moments, both of which centered around Lake Winnipeg and Gimli for some reason. Must be a funny place. Gimli Film Festival. That might be why. Should be renamed the Gimli Comedy Fest, maybe. I don't know. There you go.